So I'd like to talk about the battery group I got just recently. Mostly because there aren't that many actually good videos on YouTube about it. This is one of the ones out of China for my t1i. Comes in a box that looks like this. Much professional. Professional creates a beauty moment, Confucius says. But it comes with the battery grip, the AA holster, and a IR remote, which I didn't get to use yet, but it looks decent. Like, I expect it to be this really bad, like shit quality, but it's actually like, I'd say average. The rear of this is kind of almost a rubberized plastic finish, while this is just that stick on. They just got your button. I still haven't taken out the battery pack protector, but whatever. Talk about the battery grip. This was a combo, and it also came with 5 batteries that came in this little thing. It's funny. But so I get 4 batteries. I already got some in the battery grip, and I'm not using the other one. You get 4 batteries plus the battery grip, the AA holster, and the IR remote. The IR remote, sorry. And that whole package costs about $50 shipped from somewhere in the U.S. So that's really good, considering I've got just the t1i. It's not that much of a great camera, but it definitely works fine. And for video, with Magic Lantern, it works quite well. But I want to go over this. I'll put the one issue right out the bat that I had with this. If you put the little battery compartment cover here, it rattles like hell. You might want to put like an extra piece of like styrofoam in there with it, or just not put it in there at all. That's it. That's the only bad thing. For $50, and you can find this less. You can find this for 30, and then with like 2 extra batteries. So that'd be really good. But I like to go over the quality in a bit more macro situation. So give me a second. So just want to talk about the quality itself. It's actually quite nice for what it is. The rubberized grip, it wraps around all of here. Let me zoom out. The rubberized grip wraps around from the front all the way to the back, and it's actually a good rubberized. I don't know if the rubber grip on my Canon has worn down, but this feels more rubber versus just grip. Though there are issues with the quality and how it's glued on. Like, let me show you. You can kind of see that where it sticks down. It's like pressed down under, while these are all raised. That's whatever. If it comes off, you can glue it back on, I guess, because it's that cheap. And this isn't. If I had like a 70, I'd probably buy the Canon battery grip, or a better aftermarket one. But that's really it. It's a good rubberized. It feels nice. The battery, sorry, not the battery pack. The part for the tripod plates, it's not rubberized, so you get to use the tripod plate itself as the grip. You have a little sling mount, or whatever, the strap, and that's very simple. The plastic itself, compared to the Canon, it feels like it's a bit rubberized of a feeling too. I don't know if it's a coating or something, but it feels a bit rubberized, and I kind of like that. It doesn't feel like cheap, one of those shiny cheap plastics. It feels quite nice. Facebook. Okay then. You have an IR thing in there, whatever the fuck. Okay, and let's go on to the buttons, because the mounting system just kind of screws in. It's fine. It works quite well. Sometimes there's a little gap, but you can just go tighter, but don't over tighten it. Now to talk about the buttons and how they feel. This is the on and off switch for the functionality of all these, as I've understood, because I plugged this in, it was off, but I still had batteries, and I still had a chart functionality in my camera. So I'm going to assume that this is for functionality of the buttons. The exposure button, the AV exposure button, really nice and clicky. The plus minus, the opposite of the Canons. On my Canon, they're pretty gummy. These are clicky. At least they haven't been worn down yet. Now here's a problem. Shutter. It's really gummy and jello-y. You can barely feel the half press. You just kind of put your finger on it, it's already half pressed, and then You can kind of click it, but it's a very soft click. You won't be able to hear it really. Let me. Yeah, you can't pick that up for some reason. And the wheel to scroll through your photos. Let me zoom in on that. It's a much smaller and different feeling wheel, and it's a bit more. It's a bit less clicky. I wouldn't say gummy, but it has harder clicks that aren't as tactile or loud. Like if I were to do the ones on my camera, they have a very higher pitched sound. This is kind of just dull click, 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 click versus like tack, tack. And honestly, I don't think I'd be using that because you view your photos and videos in the horizontal mode, so it doesn't fucking matter. Like the build quality, as I said on this, it's actually surprisingly good for what it is. And that actually really surprised me. You have a little play in this section. Let me get that in focus. You have a little play in this section right here, and basically that's to get the battery out. There's a little thing you press with your nail, and then that would flip out. This is on a spring latch, so once it's out unless you click it back in. Then you turn it and you expose your batteries. This is what those cheap China batteries look like. It's kind of hilarious that they're labeled like that, but so far they seem to work. And they're disposable at this point, so once they stop working, I just throw them out and buy another 4-pack for like $10, hopefully. That's my logic at this point. Having like a very low-end budget camera, but it still works. My final verdict on this: if you've got like one of the T whatever number eyes, and you've got like $100 and you want to do some DSLR filming, or just more batteries or photography, but you don't want to spend the $200 on the Canon branded battery grip, this is a definitely go buy. This does ship from the United States, so I ordered mine Tuesday. I got it like now. Today's Friday. So it is pretty fast. It did come in a USPS envelope, and I think I'm just rambling at this point. I don't know what else to say so far. For the hour that I've been playing with it, I would recommend this if you are on a budget, and that's pretty much the only reason you get this. You could bypass all those other aftermarket, like third company battery grips like Velo and all that other stuff. Get this, it's cheaper. It comes with batteries, which are disposable, so you can just play around with them. And if the need arrives for you to actually use, sorry, I got the packaging behind me. And if you need to, you could actually use the AA mount for whatever emergency when all your batteries are gone. It has a weird orientation on these two, which is a little odd. You got two here, and then on the sides, it's two. So, I don't know. But that's how they do it. That's how it fits. Putting it in would be the same. You pull this out, twist, pull out. Slide this one in, twist it, and slide it in, twist it, and plop. The back of the latch actually does have a little piece of metal, so I guess that acts as a slight reinforcement. I don't know. Because it does seem a little bit of a different plastic than the rest of the build, but it is so far okay. I'll tell you probably eventually later how this performs itself, if the battery's died, if there's an issue with something, but right now it's doing pretty okay. So that's it. Bye.